All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone is having an amazing week thus far. Just getting everything set up. Looks like we're live over on LinkedIn as well, too. So what's going on, everyone on LinkedIn? I'm going to be showing my screen, so I won't be able to be as active as I normally am from a comment standpoint, but super excited for this conversation. For those of you that don't know, we do quite a bit of work. So this year, I think we'll end up doing maybe 120, 130 outreach deployments and overhauls. So if you want to know why we're talking about outreach specifically, it's because our team knows this better than anyone in the world that is not named outreach. A couple people asked me about say, obviously, look, if you use Salesloft and some of these things that I'm talking about will be applicable as well too, right? It's not none of it is applicable. But look, outreach is a great partner of ours. We do a ton of work there. But I'm going to talk about some other techniques as well too. What I would love to see, and do me a favor, I know I've got my team in here. So if you're on LinkedIn, feel free to start dropping your questions, whether you have questions about outreach, questions about different ways to optimize your tech stack in general. I'm pumped. I love this topic. Sales tech is the future, everyone. And if you're a team, one of the biggest mistakes before I get into this that I see is that too many sales leaders and sales professionals are sitting around and waiting for their ops team to teach them tools or to keep them up to speed, but your ops teams can't keep up. I'm going to talk about why. So, for a lot of you, I really feel like in 2022, 2023, 2024, knowing how to effectively use the tools that we're going to talk about today is going to become the bar. So if you're yeah, I've used outreach before, I've used Vidyard, it's going to quickly become difficult. So yeah. Raquel, you can just drop the comments here. So look, Raquel or anyone on the Zoom, you can feel free. You can drop in the Q&A. You can drop in the chat. I'll have that open. So a lot of you are here. You want to find ways to close more deals, reach your gap for Q4, or just hit the ground running. So I've got some pretty awesome stuff that the team's put together. I'm really excited about this conversation. So Raquel, just drop your questions in the chat or the Q&A. You'll be fine. I'll see them. All right. What's up, everyone? Pretty excited too. I just got my new iPhone 13. So that's exciting. So it's been a good day so far. All right, let's get into it. So 6 ways to use outreach to hit your 2021/2022 hit the ground running number. All right. Again, like I said before, this could be applicable to a lot of other tools, but for this in particular, what's up, Brendan? Actually, you know what? Hey, I love what Brendan did here. Shout out to the team at File Invite, their client. Is drop in your company, company name and what you do, if you use outreach or not. So tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're here, what you're hoping to get out of this. And yeah, I'm starting to see some Q&A already come in, which I love. Cool. Talking about launching outreach. So I'm going to jump into this, and I'm going to get to some of the Q&A. What's up, my people over at Troops? Shout out to the team at Troops. We are also big fans of Troops as well too. And when you talk about a modern sales tech stack, definitely we are integrating Troops. And I can actually, what I'll try to do, I'll talk about outreach and Troops working together. Some pretty cool stuff there. If you don't know me, I'm Jake Dunlap. I'm the CEO of Skaled Consulting. We are a 40+ person consulting firm, and we help organizations modernize their sales process. A very quickly growing part of our business is sales technology deployments. We are the largest organization in the world that is focused on pure sales technology, non-Salesforce deployments. And we've done, I don't even know, 300, 400 or so at this point. What's up, Jolene? Jolene from Asana is here. Known her for a while. Chris from Bull Commerce. What's up? Any question you have about outreach, I can't promise I can answer all of them, but I can answer a lot of them. So I will tell you, I will do my best to answer it. Okay. What's up, Remesh team? I saw we had a bunch of Remesh folks show up. So shout out to all the people at Remesh. So why is this topic important? So there's a couple of different reasons why this topic's important. Keep the chatter going. I love seeing everyone jump in. We've got I got 86 people wanting to learn about outreach. I love this. Outbound, and a lot of teams are using outreach for outbound. I'm going to try to give you some ways to use it outside of just outreach. Awesome. Brian's using outreach already. That's awesome. Chris, I saw your question. I'll hop on that here in a second too. Outbound is in an abysmal state. Let's just call it what it is. We did a survey last week. Was last week? Week before. How many teams, 2 weeks ago, how many teams are hitting their number, almost but not quite, and not close? And only 18%, and we had almost 1,000 people respond, only 18% of people are hitting their outbound numbers. That's sad. And I'll tell you why. It's because a lot of teams don't know how to use outreach. That's one. I'm just going to call it what it is. That they set up sequences that are like, boop, send all. My friend, that's marketing's job. That's like Marketo and Pardot. But it's really one of the number one reasons. I'm going to talk about how to fix that, but that I see teams failing. And it's because, look, and whenever we asked people, the follow-up poll was, hey, why do you think it's failing? Generic messaging. So and then the other reason, this is like one of my favorite ones here, right? Which is like, we're tracking quality over quantity. We're tracking quantity. I think this is backward. We're tracking quantity over quality. So it's like, we know outbound isn't working. We know we keep doing generic message things that aren't working. We know we keep saying, just do more activities. So therefore, I'm just going to, a news flash for everyone. You will not be successful in generating net new meetings if you are hitting send all on emails with generic messaging and focused on volume versus quality metrics. Okay. It's never going to happen for you. And so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about ways that you can just hit send all and like this magic. Trust me, my friends, if there was a magic button that was like, oh, you can just hit send all and hit your numbers, I promise I would tell you. Right. And I trust me, it used to be, look, when these tools first came out, I remember talking to Manny back in like 2015, people weren't, email wasn't as saturated. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, it starts to get tough. So it's like, it was okay to use the approach that we did because email was such a great channel. The problem is everyone gets up to speed. We now have to be a little bit more complex. And so for all of you out there that are thinking about, either purchasing outreach, just so you guys know, I think that this is important too. We get this much commission from outreach. So this isn't a, I hope a lot of you sign up and we can make sure that you get hooked up with the right people to get hooked up. So make sure to DM me on LinkedIn and we can make sure you get to the right people if you don't use outreach. But I don't make any my company, we don't make any commission from selling outreach, just to be perfectly clear. We make all our money on services around outreach, right? And that's where we feel like people need to be thinking about is that outreach is a always optimizing tool. It's not a set it and forget it, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. So as we get into this, I'm going to talk about strategies for people trying to generate net new meetings, strategies for my AEs, my sellers out there, and how they should be using outreach. And then I'm going to talk about some, things for managers or admins, but candidly, you all could use a lot of this as well too. So yeah. All right. So I'm going to take a question here before we dive into the 6 ways. Let's see. We had William from LinkedIn. We're about to launch outreach internally. How can we best prepare utilization? You know what I'm going to do? Yeah. And then Chris also asked, currently looking at it as a possible tool in our tool belt. So I think I'll take kind of both of these in the same answer. So one of the big things, I'm going to talk about it here, is this concept of always optimizing. So I'm going to get into that. I won't talk about that now because I'm going to talk about it later. What's important about that mindset is that for all of you out there, I want you to hear me. Getting outreach or a tool like it deployed is step 0. And if you look at, what I see is too many people look at a deployment as an event. They look at a deployment as a like, cool, we're deployed. My friends, that is not the right mindset. So for anybody who's thinking about utilizing outreach, you've got your initial deployment plan, but what's our ongoing plan? That is the number one key to success. And again, it's why we've got this managed service practice that's growing is, companies are like, look, we know we need to do it, but we want to bring in experts. And that's where, we come in as well as, a few others. So as you all get into this, let's talk about, for all my people out there, what are 6 ways you can hit your numbers this year? Let's go. All right. So look, talking about this year, we're focused primarily on the short, but I also don't want you to I don't want you to forget about the midterm, right? I don't want you to forget about setting up Q1 for a lot of success too. And I think one of the big issues that I see right now is that because people are so focused on now, every month they're kind of starting over, where best in class teams, what they're actually doing is they're playing the mid, short, and long game. They've got people that they know they'll convert in 6 months. And those are the teams that I see. The people that have that mindset are the people that have, that mindset around, how do I put it? That if I can start to tee up more people for down the road, then guess what? 6 months, 7 months, 8 months from now, I'm coming into every month with 4 or 5 book meetings. And that's just a mindset that, again, I want a lot of you to really think about is, although we're going to talk about the short term now, I do want a lot of you to think about, are you nurturing people and teeing up to make, I always have this saying, I say, like, I do a lot of things today to make future Jake's life easier. Right. So like, I'm going to go set this up, set this meeting, put this calendar, and that's going to help future Jake hit his number, or our company hit our number, or us to be more productive. So just mindset wise, I want to get you all there. So I'm going to talk about some plays that I think that a lot of you should be running right now. All right. And the first one is around video, right? And I'm going to talk about video twice today. That for a lot of you, right, what I want every one of you to do is this. Okay. I want every single one of you to go through your not interesteds, right? You're not interested, or people that book the first tier. Sorry, I forgot the note. The first tier is I want all my SDRs out there to go run a report of all closed, lost opportunities that you generated in 2021. And what I want you to do is send a personalized video and follow up to them. So obviously get with the AE, right? Or maybe not close loss. Maybe you don't get compensated on that. Maybe it's deals that never flipped. Whatever that tier is, that is like right before where you get compensated or where the AE might take over. I want you to go today, as soon as we finish this, go run a report in Salesforce for people that were engaged with you or engaged with sales, but didn't make it through, right? Maybe you coordinate with your AE. There's a lot of different things you can do. And I want you to do this. I want you to build a very simple outreach sequence, 4 steps. Step 1, email. Hey, John, I know it's been a minute, XYZ. Step 2, next day, double tap, video, personalized video. Hey, John, the thing that I left out of yesterday, it just hit me, is X. And then I want you to follow up with maybe a call and another email in the next 7 days. Email day 1, fast follow, epiphany. I forgot this one key detail. Video, personalized video to engage. I am telling you right now, if you go back and you pull out those people, all right, if you're pulling out those details, okay, that quick little sequence, little 4-hitter, email, fast follow day 2, personalized video from Vidyard, or whatever your video of choice is. Day 4, email, day 4 call, day 5, maybe email follow up. But again, quick. Right. What we're seeing more and more is, I think there was another, God, who was I talking to? They're using a technique called the triple tap. It's like, boom, boom, boom. It's like 3 mediums in like within 24 hours. So for a lot of you out there, think video. And that kind of leads me into some of my other details here. Then the next play that I would run is whoever the people were that maybe said not interested. So these are the people who said not right now, timing's off. And these are the people, again, I might run a very similar play. I'm going to call these like my medium and longs, right? That, maybe I'm going to suggest, hey, like, let's catch up right after the new year. Let's catch up right before the new year. But again, you can use a really similar style of approach where, again, I'm all in on video right now. And the reason is, like, there's such a small amount of people that are doing it. The other thing that you could try, for some reason, you don't feel comfortable on video. For those of you who don't know, again, you can see my kids, my family. There we go. If you go to the LinkedIn app on mobile and you're a first degree connection, what you also can do is just send a voicemail. There's a little, when you go to the message, there's a little microphone button. You can just push the voicemail. So I love that. Again, right now, I feel like, look, for everyone here now, we've got 100+ people. It is so easy to stand out right now. You saw the numbers. Everyone's focused on quantity. Everyone's focused on generic message and it's not working. So all you have to do is somewhat customize your messaging and pick an interesting medium, and you are going to be successful, right? So that's my first play. First play, 4 quick hits with your warm pipeline, people that kind of started to engage but didn't go through. And then once you finish that, then go to the people that were, again, maybe like not interested or not right now, and run a very similar play. Okay. So homework. Yes, you came here for homework. I know you did, right? I want you to send a video. Now, again, obviously, look, this is going to work. So again, for those of you who don't know, Vidyard integrates really easily with Outreach. So when you set up this sequence, literally, if you have Vidyard, it's a very easy step in the process. So again, I really highly recommend you all think video. All right, my AEs out there. Okay, so this is for my closers. So that was for my people trying to set some new meetings, warming up that old pipeline. So this is for my closers out there. This is some ways that you can use it as a part of this. So let's see. Chris says, we'll just say that we answered that one. Let's see. Anonymous also said here, when would you use videos in the medium and long in terms of which touch points? I'm a big fan of sending an email first that's personalized and then following up with a personalized video. We've done some direct video. Another thing that you can do too is, like, let's say another play that you could run is step 2 in your outreach sequence could say something to the effect of it could be an other step that could be like LinkedIn video. So there's another option that you have with LinkedIn, just like I showed you, there's a microphone. You can also click plus, and then it says video, and you can actually send a one-to-one video to people too on LinkedIn. So I like both of those. So to me, I'm recommending that you do a double tap, meaning double tap means like 2 activities, like pretty close back to back. So send an email like day 1, maybe like evening, and then like a video like early afternoon the next day. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm recommending. Those medium and longs. I think that, again, those are the people that said not interested right now. So maybe, as I put them into an outreach sequence, and this is another thing I don't see too many SDRs doing, is for all my people who said not right now, I would have 12-month, 24-month long sequences. I'm going to get those people. You better believe I'm going to get them, right? So I'm going to put them in. So then I just go to my outreach and I just look. And so I'm always nurturing, right? So that's the mindset for those long plays, is like create sequences that allow you to not, oh crap, I got to follow up with Kim or whoever it was, right? So there's that. All right. Prospecting and closing. Solo founder here. Alan, I got you, man. That's what I'm going to talk about right now. I see some other questions here too. But I'm going to try to move along here. So Alan, this is when you're closing, man, this is massive. We call this deals gone dark. And actually there was a company we worked with, Videolicious, who ended up getting acquired. And, we kind of pioneered this play with their platform, and now we're, taking it to Vidyard. Because again, if you think about like what this process looks like, I want you to think about this. And this is just, this is our very own Becca Edelman here. Doing a video here, which I loved. So someone else asked the context of your video. For me, it's about, I'd probably right this time of year, I'd pick one pain point that I know people have very specifically. I would pick one pain point. I think it says participants can now see your screen. So if you guys can't see my screen, just let me know. So if something was happening, I don't know. So context of the video, I usually try to pick one pain point. It's not like we can help you with blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Joshua. We can help you with X, Y, Z and blah, blah, blah. Stupid. Don't do that. Pick one thing that you think most of your buyers are feeling right now based on this time of the year. Hey, John, I've been talking to a lot of other VPs of operations. I know this time of year is all about productivity and squeezing out, productivity and margins. The other thing, the tip I want to give you all too, when you send a video, put the meat of what you're saying also in the email so someone can quickly go back and reference it. There's nothing more annoying than just getting a video and it's like, wait, what did they say? Nah, forget it. It's too much work. Whereas like, let's say if it's in both, if there's a video and you kind of put a little bit about what you're talking about and why it's specific to me, then I can easily forward that to someone too. And they can just read the email versus having to watch a video. So the context of the video is focused on one specific acute issue that my buyer persona is having right now at this time of the year. I can tell you for us, ironically, we're actually doing a new kind of surge that we're calling Winter Wednesday today. So I'm taking a break from it. And what I'm focusing on reaching out, and yes, I'm reaching out to VPs right now, is I'm focusing on their sales tech stack. Ironically, this is what we're talking about. And basically saying, look, I know going into 2022, you've made some big investments this year in your tech stack. You know, we're the largest firm focused on optimizing sales technology stacks. If you want to set up some time to talk through what you're thinking, let's set up a conversation, right? And then let me know how this date and time works. So that's it. So that's kind of the context. So pick something that's very specific. For deals gone dark, again, so all my AEs, all my closers, go run that close lost report right now. Go run the close lost report. And again, I want you to create a sequence in outreach. You can use a very similar sequence. This one, actually, I think you can lead with the video because these are people you've talked to. So I would do like video, then like, wait probably like 2 days, then like email call same day, and then maybe even a fourth video or another email. Again, these videos take like 60 seconds. They don't need to be perfect. So don't worry about any of that, right? So how long is the video? Do you always have a call to action? No, you don't need to have a call to action. It might be, what you could do, like with the video play we were talking about before, is you could say, oh, hey, that email I sent you before, I just wanted to quickly clarify this thing. So I hope that helps. Let me know if that time I suggested works. I guess that's still kind of, I can't help myself, like not have a call to action. It's like, it's so ingrained in me. So that's it. So all my AEs trying to close deals, I want you to put together a little mini sequence, lead with video, a few days later, email, then double tap, call, email to end it, or call video to end it. This is not that much work, friends. It's not that much work. I know people hear video, their eyes are like, oh, I can't do it. Trust me, you can. All right. So download Vidyard, test it out, right? I'm telling you, it's a great tool. They're a partner of ours as well, too. Shout out to Vidyard. The other thing, actually, I was going to talk about Troops, too. Another reason we really like Troops as a tech is what Troops does is pulls, if you use Slack or Microsoft Teams, we're actually doing a partnership with Microsoft and Troops on Monday. So we've got a Microsoft for Startups partnership. What it does is like all the different insights. So like, let's say if someone you can set up different rules and triggers in Troops. So if someone opens an email or like 5 times or somebody does something, you can just get that sent straight to Slack. So again, if you want to talk more about that, DM me, I can tell you to go into it. So, okay, just these are just my plays 3 and 4 here, are just some basic things. 80-20. 80-20 means there's been various reports that show that you only need about 20% personalization. That's it. And by the way, my friends, let me just tell you what is not personalization. Hey, Jake, I know we both went to Arizona State. It's not personalization. Okay, that's garbage. Okay. Hey, Jake, I saw you're a Chiefs fan. Come on, bro. Like, make it like something smart, right? It used to work. It used to work. Okay. It used to work, but it doesn't anymore because now everybody's doing it. That's just how trends work. They work. Everyone starts doing it. They don't work. You find the next trend. Everyone starts doing it. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, like, email has jumped the shark as like being able to hit send all and hit numbers. So again, look, it's pretty interesting here. Just some things I want you to think about when you are customizing. I think there's a question in here about this, about emails and like amount of customization. Gong did a report. It's been a year now, and I don't know if it was maybe COVID, but one of the top positive responses was, instead of saying, hey, let me know how your calendar looks next Thursday at 4, was, hey, let me know if this resonates. I'll send you over a quick a quick 30-minute detail you can scan. And then if it makes sense, we'll set up some time. So this kind of soft CTA, where the real call to action is it okay to send you something? And that actually led to a really high positive reply rate. So play around with what works for you, would be my advice there. The other thing is, when you're putting these emails together or messages or videos, don't just personalize the first one. That drives me. It's so lazy. It's like, oh, wow, they didn't respond to my first email, so I'm not going to take the time to personalize anymore. And that's why your outbound's not working. When we work with teams, it's how can I add value in a somewhat, building a template, not template, but how can I, do something to like stand out or personalize on at least multiple touch points. So If you're wondering why you're not getting responses to your deals gone dark, if you're wondering why, hey, why aren't my videos landing? I guarantee this is it. It's I could copy and paste it and send it to anyone else. There's nothing that feels custom about it. So yeah, so that's it. 20%. That's all you need. Make it customized, not fake customized. All right. Griffin asked, sending via LinkedIn after they accept. So here's the other thing I would really suggest. Do not immediately DM people on LinkedIn after they accept your connection request, unless you're just adding value. I can immediately tell. I've done trainings on this before. I'll pull up my LinkedIn. I've got, however many requests, and and I'll see the people that said, hey, Jake, I want to connect with others in the industry. And I go, watch, I'm going to hit connect. And by the end of this 30 minutes or an hour or whatever it is, this person's going to DM me to try to meet. And I'm telling you, it is pathetic, pathetic. Stop doing it. Stop just connecting and then doing it. Instead, what I might do, maybe if I do want to do something, maybe the next day I'll send a video. Hey, John, I'm really excited to be connected. I saw this on your profile with Vidyard. You can share your screen too. Seems really interesting. I'm looking forward to kind of following along. And then maybe a week later, hey, I saw you posted this. Seems like it's interesting. Let's potentially connect and set up some time. There you go. Right. So that's what I would do. Jamie, no, you're fine to start with an individual license. Don't worry about that as well. So again, this is one of the most important pieces here, is this idea of just know how a company makes money, like what their department does and the individuals. This to me feels a lot like the basics. But again, when you think about why you're not getting meetings and why your outreach sequences aren't working, it's because you're like, hey, we work with other manufacturing companies. And then you list off stupid examples that aren't relevant to their peer set. They're like too big or not actually, the right, the right group. So again, if you don't know how that company makes money, it's really hard to help them. What does their department actually do? This is probably one of the biggest ones I see why people are missing on outbound and keeping people engaged, is they're not doing they don't even know what their people do. They're just like spamming, and they're just like, oh, I work with other operations leaders, and you don't even know what an operations leader does, right? So again, if you're trying to be successful, you're trying to build out sequences that will win. Again, I want you to think about this. People care about themselves first, themselves as employees second, and the company third. So if your whole pitch and all your messaging is around, we can help companies like blah, 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 and there's nothing in there, what's in it for me, not trying to hear it, think about yourselves. Right? Of course, all of you love your companies you work at, all my Skaled people, right? Yes, big head nods. But at the end of the day, you care about your role. How can you make my life easier, better, whatever? And so too many people, I see their sequences are focused on how we can help your company. Not that people are bad people, they don't want to help the company, but anything you can do to lead with you first is going to win. So that's what I got for some of my AEs. I think this is really helpful too, just touch points, right? What outbound touch points, we're starting to see success, right? Look at 5 to 9 and 9+. So almost, a third of success happens after touch point 5. So half of your sequences, the reason you're losing is you're missing out on a third of people that said yes, that would say yes if your sequences were just a little bit longer. So again, there's almost 1,000 people talking about their sequences. So again, I want a lot of you people to think about, again, maybe your sequences are just too short, right? And maybe that's a part of it. Obviously now, I suggested that quick 4 touch. They're warm, so it's a little bit different. But, for other folks, don't do it. So just again, integrations. So I talked about some of these. LinkedIn Sales Nav. Actually, Becca, if you want, can you drop the link for the Sales Nav? So we can get anybody who doesn't have it, they can get a free 60-day trial with that. So Becca, if you don't mind, we can drop that into LinkedIn, and we can drop that into the chat here. So if you don't have Sales Nav allows you to just really easily build lists. We don't recommend sending a lot of in-mails. Sorry, Sales Navigator, we love you. But we see a much higher response rate whenever you actually go view their profile on LinkedIn and send a message. So yeah, go try it out. Sendoso gifting, I'm telling you, it's really easy right now to stand out. Everyone's saying hey, I'd love to buy you a virtual cup of coffee. Look, do you know how much I bill an hour? Do you think a $15 coffee is the compelling reason to meet with you, or a $15 gift card? Yuck. I'm not going to meet with you for that. Right. So make sure that like when you do gifting, it's relevant. It's like, it actually makes sense when you do it. Vidyard, I've talked to death about Vidyard. Concert's another one. What Concert does is basically you can build it into your outreach sequence, and it basically is a human assisted dialer. So you can basically kind of tee up all your non-dialing activities, and then you can just bang through all of those, etc. Jamie, we use Lucia. Seamless is good too. Lucia, Lusha, is what we use alongside SalesNav. Lucia is basically and there's another one, Lead IQ, that basically are Chrome extensions that will pull email addresses from SalesNav. That's what Jamie's asking. That's her question. So that's it. All right. So for those of you sitting in the admin seat, what are some things that you can do to help your teams? Okay, automate. Now, obviously, we are not talking about automating emails. Okay, what we are talking about is automating different triggers for different types of people. Okay, and what I mean by that is this. All right, this is not send all automation. This is different personas and things that we can basically do based on activities. So there's the ability, I don't know how many of you like use any of this, etc., to automatically, based on certain activities, put people into different sequences. These are the automations. It is pathetic how many, I see a lot of people, they opt people out after they reply, and that's like their automation. That's lazy. Imagine a world where, let's say this, persona 2, right? Let's say this VP of ops hot lead. Imagine a world where what I can do is say, once someone achieves certain lead score, I then automatically put them into my outreach sequence. Why are you doing this manually? Why are you making people go back to their CRM to look and see who's interacted? Automatically put those people into sequence. So any activity that your marketing team is tracking, maybe they're using Terminus, demand-based, something like that, and someone interacts with an ad or clicks, any of those things, we can literally pull in to outreach. Like we've got clients that are doing like 30, 40, 50 automations. Like if someone attends event and like this thing, and they had visited the website and achieved this lead score, put them in this sequence. It's lazy. We're not setting up the automations. And instead it's like you as a rep, it's tough to know all that stuff. So again, for a lot of you, like that's what I would recommend is think automations based on actions that people would take that signal some type of intent. That's it, right? And that's really what we're talking about. Someone does X, Y, Z. If we can figure out that data point, etc., we can set up automations around it. All right. MG Chin. Yes, of course, we will send out the recording. Do not worry. We're going to be wrapping up here in about 5 minutes. We'll do a little bit more Q&A. Last but not least, how many of you, virtual raise of hands, even know what I'm talking about when I say sentiment? This to me is the silly, again, if you're looking for a play, Robert Cohn raised his hand. Robert, I appreciate you. If you are looking for another play, okay, go pull all your people that had an objection that was X, maybe it was timing was bad or whatever, and go run a sequence to them. Video, email, video, call, LinkedIn, etc. So again, if you all aren't using sentiment, you're living in like the prehistoric ages. You're still looking at opens and clicks and reply. Stupid. My friends, like it's one of the main reasons that all of you should use outreach is think about how much smarter I can be across my team and as an individual. If I start to realize 37% of the reply were objections, what does that tell you? Well, it tells me that there's something stupid I'm saying in my email that's causing people to have an objection. So can I then go and address it, right? Or you're getting the same objection. So imagine not having to think about what's working, what's not working. Sentiment reporting tells you all of this. So maybe, what you can do as an SDR AE, go look at the people that had a positive reply, but never booked a meeting, a positive reply, but closed lost, right? Maybe people that had a certain type of objection, etc. Right? So all of those are different reasons that sentiment is, it really is how most of you should be running your team right now, that you should be optimizing for positive sentiment and trying to find ways to eliminate objections as a part of this. That's whether there's an objection. Yeah, that's right. So Jamie asked a question about how are they doing this. They're basically analyzing your emails, and because they have access to hundreds of millions of emails, they can use AI to decipher like what's what. Like they can look at not interested, like, okay, we know what that is, or like price or timing. Like they basically can analyze emails and do that. So that's how they do it. So those are my 6 ways. It's a lot of data in here. It's a lot of data in here. All right, we've got some questions here. Right. So again, take an hour. If you're not using outreach, again, hit us up, DM me. We can get you guys the hookup. And testing it out. I really highly recommend all of you should be testing it. It's an amazing tool. Go run the report and go make it happen. Right. So I'll answer a few more questions here. Make sure again, Joel Parent, what's going on, Joel? Long time no chat. So again, make sure if you've got a few questions, I've got about 5 minutes here for some Q&A. Lewis Staples. Yes. Oh yeah. 2 things real quick here. So before you leave, if your team is interested in how to optimize their outreach instance, quick little pitch here, set up a time to meet with me today, go check out the link. I'm happy to do it. Or connect you with someone on our outreach team. Just click the link, sign up. If your team is trying to optimize outreach, like get your leader to sign up for this, because again, like we just see so many instances, like we can literally come and have a positive impact on your reply rate by 10, 20% in the first month. So definitely, Kathy, thank you. Taylor, thank you. So Lewis said, let's see, recommend using a video as a first port of contact. Again, I like it for the second point. Like maybe you send a customized email and then the video. So they've kind of seen your name and your email once, and then you come with the video. So that's what I do. How long do you wait to follow up with people? From Robert Cohn, who keep opening your emails. I mean, Robert, what I usually, I have a technique that I've used. I should trademark this. It's called the epiphany technique. And I use it very effectively, where I'll go like, let's say like I sent someone an email, I see they open it like 5 times. Then maybe what I'll do is that idea that I gave you all earlier, I'll say, oh, hey, John, hey, I actually meant to send you something additional to that email. It was XYZ. Let me know if that date and time works. So honestly, I would do it soon after a handful of times, but I wouldn't make it about, I saw that you opened my email. That's stupid. Don't do that. Joshua says data accuracy. No, we have not tested. I mean, Zoom Info is kind of like the standard. And they've got a lot of cool stuff that they're doing too. Zoom Info, we're joining their partner program as well. They've got some cool intent data stuff that they're doing that I'm really excited about. So Zoom Info, I think is like the leader in like the highest of quality data. And then I think Lead IQ and Seamless are both great tools as well. Sequences. I'd love an example, a list of sequences a rep could set up automations between them. Yeah, so Joshua, I'll give you just like a couple of ideas of sequences that you could set up. Imagine a sequence that says, when someone finishes, I automatically put them into my cold nurturing sequence, or maybe not. Or maybe if like, I'll give you an example, Joshua. If I disposition someone this way, then they go into sequence number 7. And that's just like warm nurturing. And that means I follow up with them. It's a 12 touch sequence that happens over a year. If I disposition them this way, they go into my medium. It's a 6 touch sequence every 24. So you can use different triggers and automations on the back end around nurturing in particular that I think would be really helpful. All right, last but certainly not least, Susan from LinkedIn. When you're just getting started, small business, what are the first steps we should take? No, I would start with outreach day one. HubSpot has a competitive product called HubSpot for Sales. And look, if you're just trying to do a bunch of like email only sequences, like it's not a terrible tool. But I personally, yes, Jason, you can. It's native. So Jason asked if it's native to do this outreach. You don't need Zapier or any of that. It's all native. You just have to know how to build them. And if you don't know how to build them, we can help, right? So I would invest out of the gate. I did a post yesterday and I'm dead serious about this. I would pay $130 out of my pocket all day long to not have to remember who to follow up with. So I would say you invest day one. That's me, because I don't know. I just hate having to try to remember who to follow up with or who did I engage with. Again, I'll drop this link to, like, if y'all want to just download some more details, you can check it out. Again, if you are interested in optimizing outbound, your outreach, et cetera. No, Jared asked about, no, Jared, that's too far apart. 5 days in between email one and second email is too far apart. Just understand, what do most people do with your first email? They archive it. It happens. So I would bump that up to, day 3 or so. And then again, I would do multi-channel. I do a call and I do a double tap, call, email, or something like that as well too. So, all right, y'all. I hope this is helpful. I got to get back to Winter Wednesday. I got to help book some meetings for my own company. I hope that this was helpful for everybody. Some quick win ways to go out, book meetings, tell your sales leader, book time with me. I'll be watching, book time with me, download this kind of quick download we put together. Really appreciate you all joining. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing rest of your week. And we will see you all next week on LinkedIn Live.